Cheney, obviously, as all of you know who are sitting out there, the crimes that he's probably part of or responsible for almost are impossible to count. But we're going to try to go through a little list of what Cheney can be connected to and blamed for in the next couple of minutes. Obviously, the Planegate case the original leaks originated in Dick Cheney's office, came out of Dick Cheney's office. That was almost, it seemed to be pretty well proven by the end of it all, yes?
Well, I mean, it was proven, and in fact, Scooter Libby took the fall, and his whole punishment was suspended, essentially.
So Cheney got off the hook, but this is Cheney on Meet the Press discussing the Plane case.
This was a document that was released in the investigation. It's a New York Times op-ed piece with your handwriting on it. And that handwriting says, or did his wife send him on a junket, referring to Ambassador Joe Wilson's wife, Valerie Plame, who was a CIA agent. Did you in any way authorize Scooter Libby to release her name or her occupation to the press?
Tim, Scooter Libby he's a good man. He's a friend of mine. He's one of the most competent and capable people I've ever known. He's entitled to the presumption of innocence.
Liar.
Even after he's been convicted, I'm sure Cheney felt that he was entitled to the presumption of innocence.
You know what amazes me about these guys, about people like Dick Cheney, is that they are such innately corrupt political minds that everything that comes out of his mouth is designed to erase and protect his ass.
Well, it's also, I think that, Cheney lives in a different universe where he perceives the Constitution to mean one thing and the rest of the world another. And so under Dick Cheney's Constitution, Scooter Libby outing a CIA agent and lying to federal investigators and all that, it's in the service of something that's more important.
So he sees
Dick Cheney.
Yeah, right. So the Constitution is a living, breathing document that he thinks should be strangled and wrestled to the ground and killed.
Exactly.
Got it.
Now, take a look at this clip. This is not going to be quite as obvious as to Dick Cheney's involvement, but we will fill you in. Check it out.
South of the border, a huge bust in Mexico, in fact. Mexico's president saying it could be the biggest drug bust in the world. Police finding more than $200 million at a luxury home in Mexico City, all part of a crackdown on the methamphetamine trade. Police saying they found wads of U.S. cash so high it was stuffed to the ceilings. It was also in closets and bulging out of suitcases.
Despite the fact that my nose is starting to run a little bit, what the hell? How does that related to Cheney?
I mean, it's somewhat obvious. I mean, if you were to actually attempt to chronicle all of the misdeeds and all of the law breaking that Cheney has been up to over the course of 8 years, you would clearly need this amount of methamphetamines. I mean, this is probably what created the demand. I know for myself, I have had to basically just go crazy on the Dexatrim over the past 8 years and sort of continue to eat, so that the Dextrim would just be specifically for the energy, not so much for the weight loss.
So you're saying that because of the amount of information and just the level of complexity to all the crimes and malfeasance of this last administration, that people who care have to stay up all the time just to keep up with it?
That's right. There's no way you could surf enough of the web in the time you needed without taking massive amounts of methamphetamine.
So there's a lot of independent speculative investigators out there who are going to be without their food necessary to keep up with the pace of corruption in this country. Also, it's a sad situation.
Yeah.
This next clip is also a little bit, it might seem abstract, but I'll explain it after it's over.
An expired registration fee, an impounded car, and somehow all of that led to a 78-year-old man being tasered by police. He accuses the cops of mishandling him or manhandling him. Police say he threatened them. John Schwada has the details.
A 78-year-old civil engineer shows Fox 11 News the marks where he got shot with a taser.
When was it okay to shoot old men with things? How is that okay? How is that acceptable? Why isn't it discussed in more depth? When did it become just commonplace for old guys to get shot? Well, you know who set that standard? That's right. Our Vice President, Dick Cheney, shot his buddy, Harry Whittington, in the face with a gun, just opening the door for shit like this to happen.
The cops probably thought it was simply, this is a way to show a friendly gesture to an elderly man.
They probably thought he was like...
shoot him with a taser.
That's right. They probably thought it's like, hey, it's looks like a quail.
They were probably upset that the old man didn't apologize for getting shot with the taser.
I think that came up next, actually, in the clip. I think he actually did apologize to the...
That also might have been Dick Cheney watching his back. You know what I mean? Because I think it's out there that if you do actually apologize for having somebody shoot you, that would directly implicate the Cheney. So in this case, this is just a standard that has been set by the Cheney that is corrupting our country.
Now, this clip is, I think, fairly self-evident, but let's roll it anyways. You'll see why Dick Cheney probably completely responsible for what we're about to see.
At 11, paying more at the grocer, but getting less. We'll tell you how to get the most. The fuck are you doing?
There you go. Yeah, what the fuck are you doing? Obviously, when Dick Cheney said this to Senator Patrick Leahy on the floor of the Senate, that basically became license where all members of our society could use that as a means in which to communicate to their colleagues.
Yeah, he has completely degraded the cultural lexicon by his blatant use of the word fuck, and it just corrupts the office of vice president. The crimes of Cheney.
Now, let me just say, Cheney doesn't just simply affect what's going on in society. It actually can affect on a very personal level. I think you know this better than anybody, Mark.
Well, yes, Sam. Dick Cheney killed my marriage. Do you hear me? He killed my marriage. If Cheney wasn't the vice president, there wouldn't have been the 9/11. I think some of you know what I'm talking about. There wouldn't have been a war in Iraq. I think some of you know what I'm talking about. There wouldn't have been a second Bush term if it weren't for Dick Cheney. I wouldn't have felt compelled to pursue a job in progressive radio talk that moved me 2,000 miles away from my wife and turned my life upside down, which caused anger and fear and jealousy and tension and arguments over the phone that led to the collapse of my marriage, Dick Cheney. Though that may be a series of events unique to me, I think that many in the progressive community can understand what I'm talking about, okay? The domestic problems caused by this administration and Dick Cheney, okay? I want compensatory damages paid to me, Mr. Cheney, all right? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, how many times has this happened to you?
Don't you get it? Cheney organized 9/11. It was an inside job.
Listen, I know, sweetheart. We've gone over this.
Don't fucking patronize me.
No, I'm not patronizing you. It's just that we've got to go out and you're getting all worked up.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
I didn't say you were crazy, okay? It's just that I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do about this.
Oh, nothing we can do about it. Well, that's just the kind of attitude that has brought on the collapse of the American democracy.
Oh, excuse me, so now it's my fault.
Well, fucking listen to yourself.
All right, you know what? Why don't you go fuck yourself? I'm tired of this fucking marriage or / civil union.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can we just...
No! This happens every time!
Yeah, there it is. I mean, that's a prime example of what can happen in a household when you're suffering under 8 years of Dick Cheney.